Hey guys, how's it going? So yesterday I spent the day at the Capitol in Lansing, Michigan, and it was actually a very productive day considering what's going on there. I'll key you guys in on stuff that's going on soon because after I was in Lansing, I was up all night plowing snow and salting, and then I woke up this afternoon to find out that two pieces of gun control have just passed the Michigan Senate. These are Senate Bills 857 and 858. Now, if you're new here, welcome. It's good to have you. If you remember, though, about 3 weeks ago, I reported on these two bills when they were in committee. Now, originally, Senate Bill 858 was going to ban guns from almost everywhere, including CPL holders. But then I put out an update the following day. If you want to see how all that went down, go back and watch those videos to make it where it would essentially just be banning guns at the Capitol, the Senate office building, as well as the Anderson House office building. So those three buildings in Lansing. This is still very important, though, and very unconstitutional in my opinion. But unfortunately, I have to report to you these did pass the Senate this afternoon. The House stands adjourned until next Tuesday at, I believe, 1:30 p.m. If I were to guess, these will probably be voted on the House very soon as next week, maybe the week after. The Democrats are running out of time in this lame duck session. The Michigan House will be controlled by Republicans come January, but the Democrats right now still control the Michigan House, Senate, and governorship. So don't forget that. So Senate Bill 857, this has to do with places where CPL holders cannot carry. Now, you might be familiar with this list. It's actually on the back of your CPL. If you have one, we've now added these three buildings right here. The Michigan State Capitol building, the Anderson House office building, the Bensfield Senate office building. And I say we've added. No, I would never add this, and neither would you, but all of these bills start off saying, the people of the state of Michigan enact. So this is what we the people get collectively for sleeping on Second Amendment issues and many other things for a long time. I'm not pointing fingers at any of you. It's just, this is where we're at. And this is what we get. And this is why I need you guys to be more active in the legislative process. Always contacting those senators and those representatives. Because if our group isn't heard, we could very easily keep on getting passed by. And this is unacceptable. And there's still a lot more they could do in the next couple weeks. Trust me on that. Now, here's a couple big problems I have here. Well, my major problem is, it shall not be infringed. That's what the Second Amendment says. Michigan Constitution, Article 1, Section 6. Every person has the right to keep and bear arms in defense of himself and the state. So both of those should nullify all gun control in Michigan and on the federal level, but apparently these legislators that vote for this don't care about the Constitution whatsoever, don't care about their oath that they took to protect and defend the Constitution. So with all that said, here we are. Now, the other problem is there's never been any people shooting anybody at these buildings. Like, literally never. And the Michigan Capitol building's like super, super old, way over 100 years old. Second of all, we have the First Amendment protected right to freedom of assembly, to peaceably assemble, to petition our government for a redress of grievance, freedom of speech, our expression. Well, we have the Second Amendment protected right to keep and bear arms. And I think it's completely and utterly insane and unconstitutional, obviously, that now we'll have to choose. If we go there to exercise our First Amendment, we'll have to give up our Second Amendment. If we try to, hold strong to our Second Amendment, we will be denied entry to these buildings once they become law, criminalized, and then we won't be able to exercise our First Amendment right because we will be detained and or locked up. Now, right now, for a long time, about a year or so, the 2 years, whatever it's been, time flies, even if you're not having fun. The Michigan Capitol Commission has put in a rule to ban guns at the Capitol. And all weapons, by the way. These aren't just guns. These are also weapons, knives, anything they could construe as a weapon from the Capitol building. And there's a very advanced weapon system that you have to go through. Now, at the Anderson House office building, there's a system in place that's similar to that, except if you have a CPL, you can still go in to see a representative while concealed carrying. If not, you can't. And that's a rule from outgoing Speaker Tate that could have, in theory, been overturned by incoming Speaker Matt Hall. The Senate building right now does not have those provisions, and as far as I know, contact a lawyer if you need legal advice. You can still be armed within the Senate office building, the Bensfield Senate office building, as it's called. This is to codify this into a law where nobody, CPL holders, non-CPL holders, will be able to carry concealed or openly in either of these three buildings, now with the criminal penalties. So, Senate Bill 857. Now, Senate Bill 858, this was the one where there was a substitute. And trust me when I say this is not a good thing that the substitute passed. This is terrible. I just listed all of the reasons why, and all of this is repugnant to the Constitution. However, this bill did get a lot less worse. I hope you guys understand what I say here. A lot less worse doesn't mean I accept it. I'm urging all of you to contact your reps and urge them to vote no, because this will be going to the Michigan House of Representatives for a vote very soon. This was originally going to take away the CPL holders' protections or exemptions, whatever you want to call it. Look, I don't think you should need a CPL to carry. The constitutional carry is the Constitution's your constitutional carry. That's your permit, okay? Granted by God, rights endowed by your Creator. That's what the Declaration of Independence says. And protected by the United States Bill of Rights in Michigan, Article 1, Section 6. However, this was going to ban everybody, including CPL holders, from any place that even has a liquor license. Even from their parking lots. It would have banned almost everywhere in the state of Michigan, and you wouldn't have been able to carry anywhere. A lot of you guys spoke out. Okay, a lot of you spoke out, and it shows that they do listen, at least some, when enough people rattle their cage. They came in with a substitute, and they pared it down to where now we've added these three sections where you're not going to be able to possess a firearm on the premises of any of the following. So this would get rid of the possession. This is, again, for non-CPL holders and CPL holders. Doesn't matter how you carry it. You will not be able to possess in the Michigan State Capitol building, the Anderson House office building, the Bensfield Senate building. Now, both of these, though, have an exception for the legislators that have CPLs. Wait a minute, that's not possible. Here in America, we're supposed to have equal protection under the law, right? Where everybody's supposed to be treated equally when it comes to laws and statutes. No, and not when the fox is guarding the hen house and when the legislator is right. These are bills right now. I'm afraid soon could become laws where they exempt themselves. So 857, here's the exemption. Section 1I to K does not apply to an individual license to carry a concealed pistol under this act while the individual is serving as a member of the Michigan House of Representatives or the Michigan Senate. We're going to go real quick to 858. Now, some of this has always been the law, and a lot of you guys don't know this, so I'm going to go over this real quick here. There's a lot to cover. I'm trying to get through this as quick as I possibly can. Meanwhile, leave a comment, and don't forget to give the video a like and share this with your friends so everyone can be informed and get involved. Except, as provided in subsection 2, a person shall not possess a firearm on the premises of any of the following. A depository financial institution, or a subsidiary or affiliate of a depository financial institution. There's going to be some exceptions for CPL holders and others, but keep in mind, if you don't have a CPL, it's already unlawful to possess a firearm in these places, has been for a very long time. A church or other house of religious worship, a court, a theater, a sports arena, a daycare center, a hospital, an establishment licensed under the Michigan Liquor Control Code of 1998. Subsection 1, so the ones I just mentioned, does not apply to any of the following. A person who owns or is employed by or contracted by an entity described in subsection 1 if the possession of that firearm is to provide security services for that entity. B, a peace officer. C, And this is your CPL holder's exception. They had gotten rid of that in the previous one. The substitute now brings this back. This is important. A person is licensed by this state or another state to carry a concealed weapon. A person who possesses a firearm on the premises of an entity described in subsection 1, if that possession is with the permission of the owner or an agent of the owner of that entity. All right, this is Senate Bill 858 if you want to go back and read it. A lot of people are surprised that these have been laws for a long time in Michigan. Now here's what we're adding here. This is in the bold-faced type. Except is provided in subsection 4. So this is its own separate section. This is subsection 3. That means the exemptions for subsection 1 are not going to apply here. A person shall not possess a firearm on the premises of any of the following. A, the Michigan State Capitol Building. B, the Anderson House Office Building. C, the Binsfield Senate Office Building. Subsection 3, so the part I just read, does not apply to any of the following. A person who owns or is employed by or contracted by an entity described in subsection 3 if the possession of that firearm is to provide security services for that entity. Look, it's cute, and I know why you guys say it, and it's the way it should actually be. And go back and watch the first part of the video. This is all unconstitutional. In so many ways, it's not even funny, and this isn't funny. But people say, well, I'll just tell them I provide my own security for myself and for my family, and look, get a lawyer if you need legal advice. Probably not going to work out very well for you. I'm just saying, under this security services for that entity, you actually have to be a bona fide security service that's approved by the entity that's in subsection 3. So, I don't like any of this. I don't want to see you guys get in trouble. No legal advice being given in here. This is just for your information. A peace officer. Now, here's the next part, and this is very important because invariably there's always at least one viewer that only wants to read half of this next part. But very carefully. A person carrying a concealed pistol, if that person meets both of the following conditions. I, number 1, is licensed to carry a concealed pistol, but hold on, it has to meet the second one as well. Is carrying the concealed pistol while the person is serving as a member of the Michigan House of Representatives or the Michigan Senate, thus exempting themselves from this too. Now, here's one thing they did just add in, and my printer just prints in black and white. I appreciate all the support, by the way, guys, because I do actually rack up a lot of ink and paper just printing this stuff. And you need to print it, because they'll electronically change this stuff, like that committee I reported on the other day. So you have to have hard copies of this to keep up, because it's literally insane. But they added this in red, if you look at the bill digitally. As used in subsection 3, premises does not include parking areas of the places identified under subsection 3. Now keep in mind there's a new safe storage bill that's promulgating through as we speak that would make it more onerous to store your firearm within your vehicle. That may become a law very soon as well. I hope not, but that bill's moving along. But there may be a way for you to lawfully store it in the parking area or possess it of these 3 buildings, the Binsfield Senate Building, Anderson House Office Building, and Michigan Capitol Building. Now, both of these are punishable by a misdemeanor. This one, not more than 90 days and a fine of not more than $100 or both. The previous one is multiple subsequent offenses. So it's going to start off, this is the old the old ladder that they do, where they keep bumping up the punishment a little bit worse. All right, an individual, except as provided in subsection B and C, the individual is responsible for a state civil infraction and may be fined by not more than $500. But then for the second violation, it's a misdemeanor. Fine of not more than $1,000, and then the third offense, it's going to bump it up to a felony. Punishable by imprisonment for not more than 4 years, or a fine of not more than $5,000, or both. The court shall order the individual's license to carry a concealed pistol revoked. And also for the CPL holders one, the Senate Bill 857, it has that same Clarification is used in subsection 1. Premises does not include parking areas of the places identified under subsection 1. So one more time, Senate Bills 857, 858. See, it says, as passed, Senate, December 5th, 2024. This would need to go to the Michigan House of Representatives. If it passes, good chance it will, on party lines alone. Hopefully no Republicans vote for this, although they have voted for gun control in a couple instances. A few reps did on a bill before. We will see. And then it would go to the governor. She'll sign any gun control no matter what. Now, this video's gone long, and I'll get into this topic a little more, and I think I need to do another video telling you how my day in Lansing went and what we got accomplished, what we can, I guess we'll say, look forward to in the next 2 years, hopefully to get things along the lines of getting turned around. I don't know where this rumor got started from, but there's a lot of people, it keeps popping up, I see all over the place, not only in my comment sections, but throughout the internet saying, none of this matters. This is the lame duck. The session's over in a few weeks. This either will be voided at the end of the year, or people will say it won't really count if these get passed and signed into law. Or another common thing is that these will be overturned right, next year, like at the beginning of the year. Well, first of all, if they're bills and they don't become laws, yes, everything resets when the new session comes in Michigan in January. But if these are passed through the Michigan House and Senate and signed by the governor into law, these are laws. Now, I believe they would be unconstitutional laws, obviously, but they still become laws. Regardless if it was at the end of the session, regardless if it was in the lame duck. Now, as far as things getting overturned, it's impossible, in my opinion. Like, it's not going to happen. None of this is going to get overturned in the next 2 years. And this is why you guys need to think about it. There's an election coming in 2 years. If you say it's always the lesser of two evils and they're both sides of the same coin, there will be primaries in the elections in 2 years. For the Michigan House, again, that's every 2 years. And the Senate, which is a 4-year term. And the governorship, which is a 4-year term. Look, Michigan's House is flipping to Republican. Michigan Senate was not on the ballot a month ago. It just wasn't. If you looked at your ballot, there was no Michigan senators there. So the Michigan Senate will still be controlled by Democrats for 2 more years. Also, the governorship was not on the ballot. Gretchen Whitmer was somehow, don't ask me how, many questions on how actually, was reelected 2 years ago. She was not up for reelection. We do have a Gretchen Whitmer, the Democrat that hates the Second Amendment, and it's very obvious, in my opinion, that she does, will be the governor for 2 more years. Now, so there's no way the governor's going to sign. She can veto any bill that would make it through, but there's no way the Senate's going to pass anything. Now, back to why I was there yesterday, I'm encouraged that some of the reps are going to be introducing pro-Second Amendment bills, just to get that ball rolling, just to get that process started. Gretchen ain't going to let them repeal anything that gets passed in this lame duck. And no matter what, you could bet your bottom dollar on that. Okay? I'm not a betting man, but I'm just saying. Also, the Senate ain't going to let nothing through either. Now, does that mean it's all despair forever? No. The Michigan House can stop anything worse from happening. They can stop any gun control from going through in the next 2 years. And that's where we really need to rally behind them. We need to stay focused more than ever in the next 2 years. But this is the situation we found ourselves in this state. So, yes, any of these bills that get signed into a law, a lame duck session or not, they will count. They will be real. Good luck ever getting them repealed, actually, if you want to know my honest opinion. But if we were to all push hard enough, and in 2 years, flip the Senate back to Republican with pro-Second Amendment Republicans and get a pro-Second Amendment governor in, then in 2 years or so from now, a little more than 2 years from now, stuff could start getting repealed. And that's the goal, and I hope all of you are working hard for that too. I don't know what else to tell people in regards to that. I think a lot of people get the United States House and the United States Senate, and apparently the president confused with the governor of Michigan, or any state as far as that goes, and the state house and the state senate. Yes, in the United States, both chambers of the Congress have flipped to Republican. House, Senate. Trump is going to be the president-elect soon, once they certify the votes. Hopefully nothing weird happens there. Presumably, and we better be, seated into office here in January. That's federal. This is state. And as far as the state courts go, a very liberal. Look at the makeup of the Michigan Supreme Court. Just went even way more to the left during these last elections a month ago. Yeah, what's up with that, by the way? Michigan flips the House, which was up for ballot, right? The state House back to Republican. But then, like, votes 2 leftist judges in on the Supreme Court, makes the Michigan Supreme Court go even more left. That's just what this state does, and the voters of this state will rack your brain all day long. But we as Second Amendment advocates need to stay focused, and I just wanted to let you guys know about this. And there's so much more to cover, and this video is almost 20 minutes long, and some of you complain if I don't give enough information. Some people complain when it's too long. So, hey, that's all right. You can't make everybody happy all the time. But I hope most of you guys do enjoy my videos and enjoy this one as well. I'm going to have to come back and give you guys more of a recap in another video very soon. In the meantime, when I'm not working in my very small business, lawn mowing, landscaping in the summer, now snow and salt, I'm spending a lot of extra time doing this. So all of your support will really help me to be able to keep doing these videos, going to Lansing, being your advocate, because a lot of you don't have time to do it. So if you'd like help to help support the channel, the links are down there in the description. And make sure you check me out on the other sites that I've shared in the description as well. And as always, leave a comment, and I will see you all soon. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.